23 hours before the passing of famous Louisiana rapper Jay Da Youngan, he posted on Instagram a snippet of a new song before he fell asleep. As a report was released stating, this was Jay Da Youngan's last story post on Instagram of him by him, marked 23 hours ago when I saved it. Reports state that in the morning of July 27th, Jay Da Youngan drove from his mansion located in the upper end of Louisiana down towards his mother's house housing his father, mother, and other family members. At roughly 5:50 p.m., reports were being released of Louisiana rapper Jay Da Youngan sadly passing away outside of that same family residence. Jay's father, Kenyatta Scott, was also affected at the scene alongside Jay Da Youngan. At 5:50 p.m., the Louisiana police station received a call reporting a firearm use with somebody terribly affected. They quickly responded to a home with a bright blue Corvette parked in the driveway, which has been seen on many of Jay Da Youngan's Instagram posts, alongside with a man who had sadly been affected by a firearm laying in the middle of the driveway of the house. The man on the driveway was Louisiana rapper Jay Da Youngan, who would be quick to get treatment on the scene before being transported by EMS to the nearest hospital. Jay Da Youngan's father, who was affected during this but came out of it okay, claims that his son was ambushed by 5 men. 3 men allegedly pulled up in a black truck in front of the house, blocking off the driveway. Meanwhile, 2 other men approached Jay Da Youngan and his father from the side of the blue house through the bushes, making it a complete sneak attack on Jay Da Youngan and his father. Now, while Jay Da Youngan and his father were trying to run back inside of the house, the 5 men all started using firearms towards them, as Jay was affected allegedly 8 times in the process, as reported by Say Cheese. Now, with Jay Da Youngan supposedly being the main target, officers learned quickly that there was another man who was affected during this. Now, this man was already being driven to the emergency room by a nearby neighbor, and that was also Jay Da Youngan's father. Word quickly spread to social media by outlets such as Say Cheese and XXL of rapper Jay Da Youngan being in critical condition. The only status given by sources close to the family was that he wasn't breathing an hour after the incident occurred. The very scary part is the black truck that pulled up on Jay Da Youngan didn't drive far, as while Jay Da Youngan was being escorted into the ambulance before being driven to the nearest hospital, the ops must have been following the ambulance, as officers would have to respond to a second incident of firearms being used at that same hospital in the parking lot right where Jay Da Youngan was being driven in. A vehicle was then destroyed due to firearms, but luckily no one was then affected. Investigators believe the 2 incidences were connected, and it was probably a second attempt at making sure Jay Da Youngan was gone. Rumors quickly started going around the internet that Jay Da Youngan passed, as credible sources were tweeting it. But this is where Jay's sister then replied to those outlets saying he didn't pass. This is where a few hours then went by, and with his family and friends no longer posting on social media claiming that he's alive, the clock would then turn to midnight as it was announced that Jay Da Youngan sadly passed, as his condition was just too bad. The police would officially declare Jay sadly passed, and they identified the second person affected, who was his father, Kenyatta Scott Sr. As Say Cheese Media would then report on Instagram alleging the second firearm incident in the parking lot, showing that the streets are saying they were the same ops that went after Jay Da Youngan at his family's residence. Now, just to make the situation worse, this all occurred in front of Jay's mother's house, as multiple photos were posted on social media showing his mother and other relatives posing in front of the home and taking family photos. It wasn't long until people online googled the address of Jay Da Youngan's family's house, as this video was going viral online that I shared earlier. Now, it revealed multiple family members are registered to this house address, which made people believe that it wouldn't be crazy to think that if someone wanted to find Jay Da Youngan's whereabouts, that they could easily easily just search the address online, and the biggest giveaway that he's currently there would be his famous blue Corvette sitting in the driveway. More police reports were then released about this household, which is very important to note, as this neighborhood that this house is located in isn't in the safest of places either. Now, police are investigating on who could have done this crime, as in this neighborhood there's a lot of crime that goes down. Allegedly, it's very common when houses in the hood have supercars in the driveway that those households are often scouted a lot by people in the neighborhood, seeing who owns the car, is it a rapper, or if it's just somebody famous in general, and they often make moves on whoever owns supercars. Now, Jay Da Youngan's Corvette really resembles young Dolph's Corvette as well, which is also in the scene of his passing as well. With 2 days going past on Jay Da Youngan's sad passing, the police were then looking into another route on who could have been the main target. As it's very likely that Jay Da Youngan was, you cannot rule out Jay Da Youngan's father. And here's where it gets interesting. Kenyatta Scott Sr., the father of Jay Da Youngan, according to court documents, is very well known to the Louisiana Police Department. Jay's father listed the house at the scene of the crime as his own, and interestingly enough, his father, a 44-year-old man, is a registered offender after a 2010 conviction, then again in 2016, and then he was arrested again and charged with the same case, including a battery charge. He would actually win the second case, but then in 2021, he was featured on the local news station after another arrest warrant was issued, once again on the same charges as before, which is a 4-letter word that I'm not allowed to say here on YouTube. Now, police believe that Jay Da Youngan was the main target, but you can't count out Kenyatta Scott Sr., as doing crimes such as his in that little of an area in Louisiana, it's not ridiculous to think that some people could have wanted to go after him, as those charges are pretty disturbing. Now, even with reports of Jay Da Youngan sadly passing away, many people still didn't fully believe it, as his sister was claiming that he didn't pass to start with and denying all of the claims from these big news outlets. This is then when she posted on Instagram photos of him and her together, sharing a caption stating, "Jay, no way they took you from me like this. I'm sick to my stomach. They wanted this. They wanted to see you like this. Bro, I'm so sorry. I love you so much. Sister is so hurt. I literally watched you grow from the ground up with this rapping stuff. You was the GOAT in my eyes. Especially from where we come from. Baby, I'm so sorry. Jay, you literally hurt us with this. Dog, this cannot be life. I got JR, and I love you so much. 23 forever, and I'm standing on it." Now, this then led into Jay's girlfriend, who posted shortly after his sister. This girl is also the mother of his child, and she reacted stating, "Thank God my last words to you was I love you. I hope you know how much though. I'm so hurt. How could you leave me like that? I would have never left you. Ever. One thing we could always do is make each other smile. Such a kind-hearted, sweet soul. The thing I admired from you the most is you forgave. Always. And that's all that really matters. That's what God wants the most out of everyone, so I know you made him proud. First Maisie, now you. I don't know how I can keep going. I'm so hurt. My best friend, my headache, my husband, my everything. My baby, you did not deserve this. I still can't believe it. Watch of Maisie for me, my love. I'll never forget what we had. I fell in love with you the first day that I met you, and haven't been a day without talking since. This is gonna be so hard for me, but I know you would want me to stay strong. I'll try, but I don't know." Now, if you enjoyed this Jay Da Youngan video and was a fan of his, leave a like on the video. I'm curious how many fans are watching today. And if you're new, don't forget to subscribe.